The moment you walked away, that's a good thing, because you ain't got time to be acting like you impressed by a nigga. But a lot of these niggas say shit, I ain't even impressive, and I know that. And that nigga said, ain't that the truth? A lot of motherfuckers want to come out of nowhere and try to upscale somebody, but shit. I said, that bitch didn't even get impressed by nothing. I said, what the fuck is gonna impress that bitch? And I said, shit. Well, the fuck that bitch won't. And God said, he know that nigga too. And he like, yeah, that bitch don't give a fuck no more. Why you sitting up here trying to find somebody to what? Open the door up to. I said, a lot of people be doing a multitude of things. And this bitch right here, she don't give a fuck about all this shit. And whether the fuck y'all own and how the fuck y'all trying to get a bitch to feel this way and feel that way, these bitches don't care no more. And when y'all realize that they really and truly don't care, then y'all would be so much better here, boo. And God said, ain't that the truth? It says your lover already been a stalker of yours for years. So whoever you loving on right now, okay, and whoever you gonna love on later probably been stalking your ass for years, and that's kind of catastrophic. And you really don't want people to be stalking you and then come towards you. But these niggas don't even know how to not stalk. And these motherfuckers are saying shit. They really got to raise their vibrations for you to notice anything about their ass. And God said, ain't that the truth? You really is getting to the point where that whole bumping into motherfuckers out of nowhere is not even going to work no more. And everybody act like, what? You ain't paying attention to the snowfall too? I said, what the fuck is this? And why does it look like it's snowing in the damn elevator? And God said, that's what else they act like you don't know about here, boo. I said, so many people is doing so many things in the air and the space and acting like people is stupid here today, but you ain't. And a lot of motherfuckers is acting like shit. Don't do this, don't do that, don't take this, don't take that. But God say, you know what? Where's the other pack at? And you really is analyzing shit even further and saying, you know what? Stop stealing my shit out of my area, my space, and acting like, you know what? I don't know the fuck y'all been in my area, my space even years ago here too. A lot of people is always acting like they don't know what the fuck is going on. But this nigga is looking like shit. We can't even do half of the shit that we want to do. And this nigga always sitting up here trying to spray this and spray that and spray all this other shit. But people need to get the fuck out and stay the fuck out today. And everybody is saying, ain't that the truth? You is not impressive, but everybody is trying to impress you. Ain't that catastrophic? You ain't impressive, but everybody trying to impress you. And it's kind of catastrophic that you don't give a fuck about nobody no more, boo. And they literally is looking like, yeah. And people will do anything for a hit. And then they looking like, yeah. And they will. See? I said a multitude of people is looking like shit. We was doing that shit years ago, but maybe it's not going on now, and maybe it is. But God say, you know what? You ain't got time for the games no more. And everybody is looking like, you know what? Where's the other pack at? And why the fuck you ain't noticed this and why the fuck you ain't noticed that? But God says, shit, you will murder somebody, boo. And they act like you won't. I said, and that's the your truth. I said, a lot of people fuck with people's shit and act like, you know what, we ain't got shit to do. I say, you will really flip your wig if you know that this nigga ain't hiding nobody and all this other stuff. And a lot of people want to come out of nowhere and what, make noise like they 2 years old and shit. And I said, yeah, you know that that's a mama. And every time mama start doing shit, all the kids want to act like, you know what, they don't know mama doing some shit today. And I said, yeah, that's what y'all be doing. Unfortunately. I said, you know what? A lot of these motherfuckers want to send unfortunately's to a bitch and act like, unfortunately, back to you, bitch. But God say, we don't give a fuck. And we ain't going to be going where y'all think we going to be going. And y'all be paying attention and acting like everything is about that bitch. Y'all don't have no idea which way this hoe gonna go. And this ain't even no hoe, but that's how the fuck he be talking about this bitch behind her back. And he don't want that bitch to know that he be calling her a hoe. I said, yeah. Bro used to say so many motherfucking toxic ass words about a bitch that was taking care of him, making sure this, making sure that, making sure all this other shit. And now his ass looking like, damn, don't put me on blast. And God said, ain't that the truth? Nine of Cups energy is here a bad one. It's not good for people to be out here by themselves and doing whatever the fuck they want to do when they want to do it. And that nigga don't want to say that shit. I ain't even get all the way down there. And I said, yeah, let me get the fuck back up here because something ain't right here, boo. There's so many things that go on simultaneously and they act like what? Ain't no wet up to get set up in these areas and these spaces and shit. Someone here saying, you know what? I ain't had that. I think I need some of that today, tomorrow, and next week and forevermore to stay focused. It's so many things that we got to keep ourselves focused with because all these niggas out here is doing the most toxic ass shit. But when they wet up and set up they self shit, they be like, damn, how did you get back? And God said, how the fuck did you get lost, nigga? And God said, ain't that the truth? It says he sprayed perfume on your chocolates and tried to hide it. But your ass is always what? Rinsing shit off. I said, there's so many things that can make you super sick. And what the fuck was that in the water? I said, you know what? Whatever this nigga's doing, he gonna have to pay for that shit because you know what? He would have ate on that shit too. And we don't want to be around people that's trying to, you know what, poison us, boo. I said, yeah, this one gonna get dropped off at the psych ward and be like, you know what, take care of that nigga. And once he get dropped off at the psych ward, they gonna be like, shit, and we will. See? And that nigga can be up in there forever. And he ain't gonna like that. He ain't gonna like the fact that he ain't gonna be able to do this and do that and do all this other shit. And that's gonna be a very peaceful life for him. And he like, shit, I don't think I wanna go to the psych ward. But that's where we gonna take his ass. Since he's trying to poison everybody and trying to keep everybody fucked up and trying to keep everybody, you know what, feeling like this and feeling like that and feeling like all this other shit here today. And God said, don't he know it? So a multitude of people ain't gonna like this, but shit, that's where that nigga is going. And that nigga said, damn. So what about this and what about that? It don't even belong to that nigga like that. And he act like it do. This nigga gotta really transcend and figure out where he going, boo. Cause he ain't going everywhere we going. And that nigga already knows that here too, see? I said, this bitch ain't never paying attention to people that's around her, but for why? Why should we pay attention to people around us? Why he want to sit up here and turn around and try to spray some shit, but he can't even spray it the way he want to spray it. And God say, you know what? That's what you didn't even know yet. I said, a lot of y'all motherfuckers been doing the most toxic ass bullshit. And whoever want to come out the closet and come out of here and come out of there and that thing, come out, nigga. And God said they can't even come out the when they want to come out here, boo. And these Negroes gonna end up pissing on themselves. They're gonna end up shitting on themselves. And they're gonna end up doing a lot of shit. Cause you know what? They should have never ever got into an area in a space and act like, you know what? You wasn't coming right back here today. So everybody don't even know what to say, but shit. Can y'all come out wherever you are? Cause this nigga would love to see you, you know what, go get arrested and he act like he'll take the bag and be like, you know what, walking down the street and saying, I got everything I need in the bag today. But that nigga ain't got everything he need in no bags. And all the bags is saying, shit, we ain't gonna be as amazing as we should have been. Cause this nigga don't want to give you this and this nigga don't want to give you that. But unfortunately, whatever the fuck he thought he was about to give you, it ain't even you. It's that other bitch. And now he looking real stupid and saying, yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, Ace of Pentacles energy is here. So a lot of people love to sit up here and try to poison people and try to make people feel this way and make people feel that way. But you've been through so much that whatever the fuck these niggas is trying to give you and make you feel this way and shit, you getting through it. And you gonna get another Ace of Pentacles energy because you know what? We don't know who the fuck you think you is to come out looking like this and looking like that and all this other shit, but you ain't looking right. And God said, ain't that the truth? It says start preparing for a major shift. But a lot of y'all already doing that. And a lot of people are saying, shit, You ain't even take all that. So where the rest of the shit at? And God said, that's why you can't trust niggas no more. And that nigga is saying, you know what? You don't trust me. And that's why the fuck I ain't trying to fuck up too much, but I'll fuck up a little bit. But this nigga need this, and you know what? He needs to take this on his own. And that's why the fuck he took some. So shit, that nigga got what he need. So don't give him nothing else, because he want to take shit on the low and act like, you know what? That's what I did. And that's what you need to know here too. A brother is here. So you don't want to know that shit. Your brother is out here, you know what? Looking kind of cuckoo crazy and shit. And you ain't got time for this shit. And whatever the fuck these niggas have, okay, not taken so far, and they really want to come and just take that and say, I know it's all in the bag. Damn. And that's their truth here too. Yeah, it says bring family back together. So it's not good for this nigga to be by himself, and it's not good for you to be by yourself. And these brothers is looking like shit. Hey sis, what up? I'm your brother. But you don't give a fuck. And they know you don't give a fuck here too, see? A lot of these brothers is looking like, yeah, we did fuck up. And a lot of these brothers didn't overqualify to be a brother at all. A lot of these brothers are fake ass niggas. And that's why your brothers is looking at you like, shit, I can see you through the binoculars, sis. How you doing? And these niggas already know that shit. You don't give a fuck about this and don't give a fuck about that. And they really need to just send you a text message, an email, or some shit and tell you something today. And now all of your brothers is looking like, we don't want to tell you like that. Unfortunately, it's kind of catastrophic that, you know what? When you say something that you don't like, people want to what? Bring you more shit that you don't like. But guess what? That's your power, baby. See? You don't give a fuck. And it just identifies them when they do the stupid shit that you don't like, and they act like, you know what, they still on your side and they got your back. You still don't believe in these niggas, and they know that. How the fuck you gonna believe in a nigga that's sitting up here already knowing that they disrespecting you in your face? This ain't on the low. And I said, ain't that the truth? Shit. I said, this bitch really don't give a fuck. And why should she? I said, God is telling you to fuck it up. And that's what she doing. And y'all don't like the fact that these Leo women born August 12th is fucking it up, but shit, you fucking it up, boo. And they don't like the fact you fucking it up here today. And God said, ain't that the truth? It says, start feeling good about yourself. So even though these niggas want to sit up here and, you know what, get you high, get you smelling this, get you smelling that, and, you know what, see if you gonna go crazy, see if you gonna do this, I'm just gonna see. But anybody who want to provoke the essence of what the fuck you shouldn't be provoked with, you can't trust these niggas. See? And you don't trust nobody, baby. So how the fuck am I gonna be in your world if you don't trust me either? And these niggas like, shit, you need to learn how to start presenting yourself as trustworthy on the inside and not just on the outside here too. And I said, ain't that the truth? It says enough money is coming for you to relocate very soon. Yeah. Y'all about to get an Ace of Pentacles energy. And this nigga says, shit, I ain't even impressed you either. I can't believe that. Everybody is always impressed by me. And someone is looking like, shit, I'm finna send you some shit, because you know what? Your ass ain't moved by nothing. And I don't know why the fuck you ain't moved by shit. You look like you want to be moved. I said, shit, ain't that the truth? It says, gave me every STD in the book, but I still love them. So someone here is looking at you and saying, shit, you gave everybody every STD in the book, and they still love you. But a lot of y'all, okay, Leo women born in August, y'all ain't get nobody no STDs. And they want to put out that essence and be like, yeah, I got AIDS from them too. We all got AIDS now. So now everybody want to have AIDS. I said, get your crazy cuckoo ass out of here, bitch. I said, what are you trying to do? I said, yeah, I said, if your mama got AIDS, your ass got AIDS. And they be like, shit, maybe I do, nigga. I got AIDS. Now look at me. And that nigga said, shit, I still sit here, fuck it. We got AIDS together, baby. And they be like, ain't that the truth? Fuck you mean. It says they're always gonna be there for you no matter what. So even your brothers is looking like, you know what? You and your AIDS can kiss my ass. Some of your brothers is looking at your crazy ass and saying, you know what, bitch? Fuck you. And fuck you and fuck you and fuck you and fuck you some more. A lot of y'all brothers out here, they be like, you know what? You got so many brothers out here nowadays. They like, shit, the ones that you didn't have, that was brothers that didn't have your back, bitch, we got your back. I said, I don't even think I'm getting moved by your ass either. I'll be a brother of yours. Fuck it. My sister need this, my sister need that, and y'all act like y'all can't get my sister what the fuck she need, and she getting tired of smelling this and tired of doing this, and my sister ain't doing shit no more. She ain't trying to clean, she ain't trying to cook, and she ain't trying to get nobody ring, and she don't give a fuck. And I said, ain't that the truth? It says twins separated at birth. So you don't want to know that shit. Your ass been by yourself for a long time. And some of y'all got these twins when y'all was actually in the womb together. Some of y'all got these children that is a twin of yours that want to act like they've been separated at birth, and I'm trying to reunite with my sister. And some of y'all and they like, yeah, but your ass is totally different than that one. And that one is saying, yeah, I only want to dress like you, I don't want to look like you, I don't want to do shit like you, bitch. But I don't like the fact you picking up on my energy and acting like you know who I am. Because I be doing it like this. And I'm always exercising my shoulders, bitch. You need to exercise your shoulders too. You know, as Leo women born August 12th, our backs are important. And something about your back. You need to really stretch and do this and all this other shit, but you don't give a fuck today, huh? You're like, shit, let me stretch a little bit. Yeah, that feel good. Uh-huh. And that's it. And I said, that's a good enough too. Keep on stretching, bitch, okay? Keep on getting yourself together. Because God says, shit, your ass is tired. And everybody act like your ass ain't tired. Shoot. You looking at yourself and saying, shit, I remember when I was this age, what I could do. I remember when I was that age, what I could do. I remember when I opened up this bottle of water and poured it in the and poured it in a goddamn cup, and the cup is saying, "Shit, I'm not that good, but you know what? At least you poured it in me, so drink me, bitch, so I can not fuck you up today, cause you need water in your system even further. So we need some water, y'all." And God said, ain't that the truth? So keep drinking your water, bitch. And God said, even the water that's over there is saying, you know what, how you gonna leave me out, bitch? But ain't nobody touch me, so drink me too. A lot of motherfuckers is always looking like, yeah, I don't think that bitch gonna go back to that. And she not. They like, yeah, she ain't gonna touch that, she ain't gonna do this, she ain't gonna do that. God said, that's a good thing, boo. You don't even need to be around nobody no more. Because a lot of these niggas is what? Flabbergasted that, you know what? They all been in the air in a space even years ago and saying, shit, I don't want to fuck it up no more. But if you in that bitch, you fucked up. And God said, ain't that the truth? It says, believe me when I say I love you. So there's a lot of people that really want to come towards you and be like, you know what, I love you, sis. I want to give you a hug. And I know you all short and little and everything, but you still my sister, my cousin, my brother, whatever the fuck they want to tell you. And God said, ain't that the truth? It says grandson is here. So you could have a grandson and everybody's looking like once you relocate, you're going to find where your grandchildren at. And your grandchildren going to be like, shit, what took you so long, grandma? We here, right here, Grandma. Pay attention. I said, Grandma don't want to pay attention to shit. And Grandma getting tired of this and Grandma getting tired of that. And I told Grandma to grab this so she could see. And Grandma said, I don't want to see today. Fuck it. And Grandbaby said, ain't that the truth? We have the essence that says move forward in your life right now. And that's what the fuck we gonna do anyways, see? And we'll leave motherfuckers and don't even give a fuck. And everybody is saying, don't we know it? I said, nigga, you better get your inside together more so than your outside together. And then that nigga looking like, yeah, let me see what the fuck I can do further. Cause that nigga right there said, yeah, spiders grow, bitch. And that nigga said, yeah, I got my sister back. If you ain't got my sister back. And that nigga looking like, damn, I ain't even know. And God said, ain't that the truth? It says they are really deceased. So you need to know that someone here really passed away. And it could have been one of your brothers. And they looking like shit. If that nigga sent you a 2-1, that was a sign for you to pay attention, boo. Because even in the 2-1, everybody is saying, shit, where you at? Because I'm trying to find your ass here today. And that nigga is looking for this bitch and that bitch looking for this bitch, but they all know where to find your ass per se. And they act like they don't. I say, yeah. All these niggas is acting like they don't know who the bitch is and all this other stuff. I said, shit. Post that video of Frankie ass so we all know that that nigga know you too. And that nigga said it's already been out there. Where is it? I can't find it. He looking too. He like, shit, I don't even see it, bitch. Fuck you and your AIDS. God said, ain't that the truth? It says the world should be warm, should be all warm, but they wanted their people to feel at home, staying forever. So who the fuck would want the world to be cold? Let's analyze that even further. If all of the world should be warm, who the fuck induced cold weather? And where the fuck these niggas came from to make the world what? Cold. And God said, let's look at that even further. You have at it. You. Your ass can research that shit. You is real smart, nigga. And you like, ain't that the truth? It says done with all drugs. So someone here is done using all kind of drugs and saying, shit, I was trying to get you addicted to this and want this and want that and all this other shit. And I don't know what the fuck that was. And a damn pot looking like this. And that pot says, shit, it wasn't me. And it wasn't oatmeal, so where the fuck this shit come from? And God said, ain't that the truth? It says things are not going to be fucked up anymore. It says the real one has to come home now. It says God is bringing peace. And you don't want to know that. Because you like, who is the real one? Instead of the fake one. What the fuck are they talking about? And God said you're going to find out even further here too. Yeah, SSI application is being approved. And this shit is going to hit. And when it hit, you're going to be like, shit. Let me see if I can be in the cabinet in the woods. And that's where we're going to be able to find your ass in the fucking woods. And I said, yep, she going to be right here. I said, something is coming, y'all. And she going to pay this shit. And she going to be like, you know what? I'm going to need it for the whole fucking month, bitch. We ain't going to pay all this money for about 5 days, nigga. And that bitch will accept it for the whole month. And she said, yeah. I accepted for about 5 months fucking with your ass because I know you want to be in a cabin and you would take care of this and take care of that and make everything so peaceful and serene and let the deers walk around and let the chickens be out. Everybody just do y'all. I said, that's one of them bitches. Those esoteric bitches would be like, let the cows roam free. If they want to come up in the house, let the door, open the door. The cow want to see what the fuck is up in here. Let the cow in. Shit. The cow said, not today, I'll stay outside. But I would come up in there next week, y'all, okay? Next week, the cow want to come up in there. Let the cow in the door. When the cow standing outside, just open the door. Be like, you welcome. And God said, ain't that the truth? races for pay. So there's a multitude of people that don't even want to tell people that shit. Your brothers was in on fucking up people for pay, boo. And your brothers is really not even alive no more. And it'll be catastrophic that your brothers have passed away and have really died. And ain't nobody told you shit. And even your brother said, shit, we couldn't even be around if we wanted to. Your ass always trying to get us the fuck out. And that's what your brothers don't even know about you yet. But they about to find out that they ain't welcome either. And they like, shit, don't we know it? It says married your ex on purpose. So you don't want to tell people that shit. A lot of your family members, please, been sitting up here trying to get a hold of all your fucking exes, baby. They've been sitting up here trying to write down names and search this and search that. Be like, do you know this bitch? They be like, no, I don't know that bitch. Well, we don't want to fuck with you. If they find a nigga that you know what you have fucked with, please. They be like, yeah, I know that bitch. I used to do this with her and do that with her. They be like, oh, really? Well, pay attention to me now. Look at me. Everybody look at me. Look at me. And that's what the fuck they been doing, baby. They've been chasing down all your exes. And your exes says, shit, you put us on the map like a motherfucking, all of our PPs look horrible now. And we can't even come back towards you even if they wanted to, boo. And that's what's fucked up because they ain't have what? Morals, values, and ethics and standards here, boo. And that's catastrophic to their body, mind, and not yours here, too. Yeah, it says you are the one of God's people, and they know it. So a lot of people already know that shit. You ain't talking shit. And you really ain't even telling the truth, but shit, that shit could have been happening years ago. And your ass didn't even know that this nigga was snorting cocaine, doing crack, methamphetamine, all kind of shit. And he like, shit, I shook all that shit. And I don't think I want another drug and everything. Fuck. But this beer over here, which is water, is saying, you know what? I'm better than a lot of shit. And everybody be sitting up here talking about me like I ain't shit. And I be coming out looking good, bitch. That liquid death, that shit be looking good, don't it? They be like, man, if you could just get me feeling a certain type of way. And God said, that's what liquid death be doing. Getting people feeling a certain type of way here too. And liquid death says, shit, I ain't 444, but I may be 555. And God says, shit, ain't that the truth? It says you don't have a serious illness. So a lot of y'all is really, you know what, just taking care of yourself even further, baby. I don't know why the fuck you decided to do this and keep on rinsing this off and rinsing that off, but shit, whatever the fuck you rinsing off, it'll work for you. And God said, ain't that the truth? Yeah, it says continent of South America is here, but I'm getting continent of South Africa is here too. And everybody don't want to acknowledge that South Africa has its own okay continent, and that's what that bitch want to say over there, and that's what she want to tell y'all too. Can you make a separate card for us, boo? And God said, ain't that the truth? It says trying to make you forget who you are, but you ain't never gonna forget who you are. A lot of y'all Leo women born August 12th, you are too focused on staying your true self since you've had so many things happen to you that you cannot let go of yourself ever again. And God is giving you all these specific memories and all these things coming back towards you that you're going to remember who you are even further. And they're going to be like, yeah, you was nice and sweet, but your ass was always willing to what? Cuss a bitch out. And God said, ain't that the truth? What the next card, it says your neighbors have to pay for everything. This is a family business. And that's what you didn't even know. But me being in the state of old fucked up ass Minnesota, please. I ain't even analyzed a lot of shit back in the day. But a lot of these apartment buildings, a lot of these businesses and organizations, they all family owned. And they literally will sit up here and hire people and act like they gonna be legit business, but they not. They really want to fuck up all the people that think that they what? Not family. And I said, see, that's why you can't trust nobody, baby. But your family, they don't even want to have a family business and they don't even want to sit up here and build with you. But they'll build with other motherfuckers behind your back and act like, you know what, that was cool. That nigga is the most stupidest ass motherfucker. And I said, yeah, that's why she don't have backup. And that's why she be looking like, yeah, you wasting my time, effort, and energy. And I got to get this together, get this back together, do this and do that. It wasn't even worth it, was it, nigga? And that nigga said, yeah, it wasn't. I said, one day, a lot of people ain't gonna learn shit. And that's why I have learned throughout my whole entire 48 years of being on this earth. And I don't know what the fuck happened to my so-called deemed family members, but shit, I ain't trying to figure it out no more. And I ain't trying to sit up here and analyze this and analyze that and analyze all this other shit. But this nigga already knows that shit. They wouldn't be able to get out if they got in. Unless this bitch let their ass out. And I said, ain't that the truth? What's in the mind of this reading? It says, drink more tea. Overall energy, it says the Three of Wands energy is here, a bad one. So whatever is coming towards this future prediction of, you know what, people that's been trying to fuck you up, because you ain't got to deal with this shit no more. And everybody be acting like, what? We gonna take this, we gonna take that, but they can't take shit today. And God say, you know what? Even that watermelon smell shouldn't be just right there. And they looking like, yeah. So how they get up in here? And God said, ain't that the truth? I don't even understand what y'all human beings want. And I ain't trying to figure it out no more. And a lot of y'all already know that shit. And she not. I will drop people off and keep on pushing. And then whatever the fuck y'all gotta say, y'all know damn well that y'all wasn't trying to take care of nobody even years ago. So if this bitch lose her mind and start walking east, even that nigga says shit, we gonna have to follow her going west. They want to pretend like they always trying to search for people, like they always trying to help and assist. And that's what your children was doing even years ago, acting like they was looking for you, acting like they was searching for you, acting like they was concerned. If your ass ended up disappearing and never coming back, shit, it probably would have affected them maybe 30 years down the line. And then they'll be like, shit, what happened to that one bitch that gave us this and took care of us and all this other shit? What happened to her? After they get done snorting their cocaine, doing their methamphetamine, putting needles up in their arms, and they don't like the orange bands that they, the orange tunics. They don't like that to do their heroin and shit. They like that's too much from New Jack City. Damn. Do you got a purple one, y'all? And that could be catastrophic when this one bitch that used to be what? Was it pathology? Or what do you call them? People that draw blood, has been dosing herself with a multitude of things for years. And she don't want to tell people that shit. I don't know none of your children, but shit, if they on my drugs, I'll bump up into them one day. And God said, that's what they've been doing. All these niggas. And you know what? I don't know what to tell y'all, but shit, I don't play that bumping up into me no more. And if you bump up into me, that means you was trying to bump up into me, nigga. And that nigga want to act like he wasn't. I said, nigga, how many times y'all gonna ride these damn elevators and ain't going nowhere? And as soon as these Leo women born August 12th leave her goddamn apartment, everybody want to get on the elevator. I said, nigga, you ain't got off the elevator yet? That nigga's still on the elevator. And I said, shit, ain't that the truth? There's so many things that is going to occur. And when things occur in these Leo women born August 12th lives, a lot of people is going to be kind of flabbergasted that shit. You ain't going to be Neo flying away, but shit, you may end up flying out and everybody going to be acting like you're going to do this and acting like you're going to do that, and they ain't going to know what the fuck is going to happen, boo. And God said, that's why we ain't telling y'all shit. And a lot of y'all don't even know how things are going to pan out. See? And that nigga said, shit, it's going to look like this, it's going to look like that. But does it matter? It don't, because everybody going to see what it looks like. And everybody going to know that shit. We may not even have that with us when we leave, boo. And everybody's saying, ain't that the truth? Y'all don't know what's going to happen in people's world and in people's lives. And y'all all been stalking and staring and doing shit for years. And we tired of this show that y'all want to do behind the scenes of these Leo women born August 12th and act like, you know what, y'all ain't getting some amazing energy from off of the show today. Damn. See? And y'all really could write a lot of shit that I have put out here and other Leo women that's August 12th have put out here. And they like, yeah, but where's the following, inscription of everything so we can not tell you a lot of shit that we trying to not do no more. But a lot of y'all can't get shit done no more. And whatever y'all have put out on Lifetime and act like, you know what, that's my life, it ain't my life either, boo. And God said, yeah, let's not roll that one. Because that'll be kind of fucked up if y'all motherfuckers want to make a bitch look like this and make a bitch look like that. And y'all don't even know the bitch true story. And I said, ain't that the truth? I don't even know why y'all be feeling like y'all can track down all of these so-called black bitches. But y'all put so much effort to say black bitches ain't shit. Black bitches is hoes. Black bitches is this. You know what? Every culture fucks up the black women, do they not? But then y'all come out and y'all want to sit up here and copy what they do about their hair, take notes and everything, be like, we can do it too. It doesn't just belong to y'all. But why the fuck are y'all copying off of their ass? What have y'all created? And God says, shit, name some shit, and I'll tell you that a black bitch started that shit too. And God said, don't we know it? Y'all can't fuck with us. I know. And we ain't even see your face. And I said, that's how mama be walking around. Just like these black box movies. She don't see nobody's face. And she be okay with not seeing y'all motherfucking faces. And she be okay knowing that, you know what? Y'all can't get to that vending machine. But y'all did get to the other vending machine. And God said, yeah, I had to put a stop on that. And I said, ain't that the truth? So mama gonna have to wash her hair again. Because all y'all trying to put drugs in the air, drugs in the space, and all this other shit. But even in the essence of washing hair, shit, it's good that you wash it. Because sometimes these people that really do this hair be sick to the motherfucker. And then they package and then cough on all over it and everything and be like, yeah, you gonna be sick soon, boo. But God said, we gonna throw that shit back at your stupid ass. Since you want to sit up here and wipe your boogers on the clothes and wipe your boogers on the hair and all that shit. And God said, ain't that the truth?